What's going on, y'all? We're gonna be streaming until midnight, which is 9, 10. We got 4 hours of stream. I'm sure we can get a lot of videos out. Um, anyways, let's do 8, then I'll do something, and then I don't know. But we got this first video. It's called Brock's Back by Plana. Let's start it.
Brock Lesnar could be coming back to WWE according to Bryan Alvarez. This is what he said about the rumors circulating. In the last few days, there have been moves regarding Brock Lesnar. If you listened to the show last night with Dave Meltzer, everything we talked about is accurate other than the roster page. There are movements to bring him back. Alvarez continued and said, I should add regarding Brock, I'm not saying he's going to be back. I have no idea if he's going to be back. I wouldn't bring him back, but I can tell you there have been inquiries made, and what that means, we'll wait and see. It seems like a bad idea to me, put it that way. I'm not sure how I feel about this. To me, I just can't see Brock Lesnar coming back unless there are some new details WWE got regarding him in the lawsuit. They wouldn't just let him return if those allegations are indeed true. And plus, I feel like they would want to wait if they did not get any new information. If there isn't any new info and WWE is still doing this, then that's just crazy. I just can't see it happening though with TKO and Ari Emanuel. Like Brian said, we'll have to wait and see. What do you guys think? Is Brock coming back, or are these just rumors? Speaking of the lawsuit, there has been some breaking news about that as well. As reported by Front Office Sports, in the Vince McMahon lawsuit, the following are identities of the unnamed corporate offices. Corporate officer number 1 is Nick Khan, number 2 is Brad Blum, corporate officer number 3 is Stephen McMahon, and number 4 is Brian Nurse. It is worth mentioning that unlike McMahon and Laurinaitis, the two are not personally accused of misconduct or violence. Rather, the suit claims that they and others facilitated and covered up exploitation in ways that make WWE liable under federal anti-trafficking law. This is some serious stuff, and the plot continues to thicken. This also confirms that Triple H is not in the lawsuit as any corporate officer. We'll have to wait and see what unfolds with Nick Khan. Losing him would be a big blow for the company, but if he was a big piece of the cover-up, then it might be the right move to let him go. In other news, Logan Paul announced the location of SummerSlam in his most recent episode of his podcast, Impulsive. Let's roll the footage of him breaking the news.
SummerSlam, WWE SummerSlam will be hosted in Cleveland, Ohio this year.
My God.
Cleveland, where I'm from.
Congrats.
We're bringing it back at the Cleveland Browns Stadium.
Holy shit.
Which is crazy. There's Friday Night SmackDown at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse just the day before. And it will be the first time that SummerSlam's in Cleveland since 1996.
40 years ago.
I am a late. Well, the math on that.
Ain't math. It's just crazy how far ago 1996 is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
We're old.
Mike
Tyson.
That's like
Mike Tyson.
Sorry, go ahead. Go. I'm sorry.
I love Cleveland. I love that I grew up there. I love that I get to bring it back there. I want to bring my brother Jake. I want MGK to be there. I want the Kelsey brothers to be there. I want it to be one of the biggest events that Cleveland's ever seen, and hopefully I get an opponent who I can bring the house down with.
LeBron.
I'm gonna probably be wrestling LeBron.
Dave.
Hey,
if you wrestle
what's up
LeBron,
there?
LeBron is being
Oh, I switched to H&R Block. Doing my own taxes online.
LeBron lose.
Hell in a cell.
Oh, Dave Chappelle will absolutely be there. But yeah, just so stoked, and they wanted me to announce it, which I'm honored because I'm just so excited for this summer. August 3rd in Cleveland, Ohio.
Jesus.
SummerSlam, WWE at the Cleveland Browns Stadium. There's not much to say. I am very excited to be a part of the WWE at this time, where they're making moves like they did with Prime in the middle of the ring. They're bringing back some of the biggest superstars they've ever had. I'm kind of finding my voice as a wrestler, and I think my ultimate goal would be to turn people who maybe didn't care about it into casual fans.
Well, I feel like you've definitely brought in more of a new audience now.
Well, because bro, the clips, the clips that I'm able to syndicate is, dude, the video of me drawing in the Elimination Chamber pod, fam.
Yeah.
That's one of my most viewed videos ever. I've been doing content my whole life.
Yeah.
That video has more views than my engagement video.
Oh my God.
40 million on Instagram, like 20 million on TikTok.
What?
Me just scribbling in the pod in the elimination chamber. And I asked Triple H, I said, which is unlike me, but I'm a professional and I'm asking for permission now. I said, hey, I have this idea. Like I have this really thick marker and I want to draw on the pod if while I'm waiting.
I thought it was also good that you were able to do it in reverse so that people can see
right backwards
and read it. Yeah.
Congrats to Cleveland for landing SummerSlam. I also expect this to be a big night for Logan Paul. He usually gets a big match at these big pay-per-views, but the WWE allowed him to make the announcement makes me think it'll be an even bigger match than normal. It would be nice to see him face someone like John Cena or maybe even Cody Rhodes when he becomes the WWE champion at the time. On last night's episode of Raw, we saw the #1 contenders gauntlet match for the IC title, and many people expected Chad Gable to win the match and finish his story with Gunther. Well, that's not the case since he lost the match to Sami Zayn. This seems like a big mistake. Chad and Gunther have tons of chemistry. On top of that, I don't have much of a desire to see Sami Zayn in the ring with Gunther. It does seem like it might be a triple threat match because Chad Gable's shoulders were never down. With that being said, I still don't really want to see this triple threat match. If it becomes that, I would much rather have preferred a singles match for the IC title between Chad and Gunther. As for Sami Zayn, I think it would have been real fun for him to compete in a triple threat match for the world title with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. It is what it is, though. We can't change the past. We'll have to see what happens with Chad Gable moving forward. Another thing we learned from Raw is that Finn Balor and Damian Priest will be defending the titles in a six-pack ladder match at WrestleMania. It's looking like this is the way they'll be splitting up the titles because Finn Balor specifically said they have to defend their 2 titles. The little Easter egg tells us that we could see one team grabbing the red belts while the other team grabs the blue ones. Who's it going to be? I'm not too sure. If it was up to me, it would be the Street Profits for SmackDown, and maybe the Judgment Day could keep the belts on Raw. Sheamus has been gone from WWE for some time now, and many people are expecting him to leave the company because he recently deactivated his Twitter account. I'm not sure if that's why he deleted his account, but it is a good theory. Fightful did report that his contract was set to expire sometime in 2024. It would be weird to see Sheamus just leave WWE without a final match, but if he ends up in AEW, I hope he goes on a good run over there. I'm sure he still has a lot of bangers left in the tank. We have some pretty sad news regarding Miro and CJ Perry. They are going to be having a divorce. This is sad, but I'm sure it is for the best. CJ Perry did say that the two will remain as friends, and she does not mind working with them on TV either. Bryan Alvarez was recently interviewed and had some interesting things to say. The first one is actually about Vince McMahon calling him, asking about some advice for AEW. This is what he said. Vince McMahon actually called me one night. I was a part of the WWE creative, and he called me one night and said, "What is the AEW doing that we're not doing?" I went back and watched 8 straight weeks of TV within that span of 6 days and was like, there's a whole list of things. I remember seeing a report like this from a long time ago, and it looks to be legit. Maybe Bryan even said it back then. I don't know. I can't remember. It's still pretty interesting to see that McMahon was keeping an eye on AEW at the time. Bryan also said this about AEW and the current state of the product. If you look at Dynamite and look at where we can make improvements to gain an audience here, touch people to a different level, the idea is you can't make big changes because Dynamite is already successful. I gotta disagree with this. I think there's a lot of changes you can make to Dynamite, but that's a story for another day. I also believe that the smaller crowds and the ratings not really increasing at all is enough for you to want to make changes because you can definitely grow that audience. And finally, Bryan spoke about never becoming the AEW champion, and he said this: I've had some people say things to me like, Bryan, you should be the champion, or you should have been champion, or you should have done this, or you should have done that. And the reality to me is, no, the champions that we've had have been great. Hangman was a great champion. MJF was a great champion, and it elevated these younger people. These people are stars. I see his point, and it makes a lot of sense. But that being said, I still want to see Bryan Danielson become the AEW champion at least one time in his career. I think he definitely deserves it. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And
Alright, I'm gonna see you on the next one. We continue in this trend. Let's go.